Morning, everybody. Obviously, I'm not the mayor. He is out of town currently, so I'm standing in for him today, so appreciate your indulgence. Off the top, I know that there's been a lot of coverage already, and you've heard some eloquent statements from the chief of police and the fire chief about the tragedy of the two young ladies that were the accident on Gerhardt Drive. Just want to acknowledge that our hearts and minds and feelings go out to those families that were impacted. It's just unimaginable, that tragedy. But also want to take a minute to thank the first responders, particularly those folks at the Pensacola Fire Department, Police Department, EMS, who responded, and just ask that your thoughts be with them as well, because they're impacted by this tragedy also. Okay, with that, go ahead and start with the Baptist demolition progress. The demolition of the Baptist towers is scheduled to begin within the week. Work will begin on Tower 1 and proceed floor by floor. This phase includes the connector and tower buildings on the north side of the campus. That's the part near Avery Street. And the debris is going to be hauled from Marino towards East Street and then taken to regulated landfills. We do have Josh Jacobs here with the contractor, and asked him to come up and just kind of give us some brief comments about the project. Come on up. And then be able to ask any specific questions you may have. Thanks, Josh.
No problem. No problem. So Josh with Jacobs, we are the owner's rep overseeing the general contractor in North Star. So as he noted, demolition is getting ready to begin within the week. Permits are approved within the building department. SWIP, Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, is going into place right now. That should be done this week, and no demolition can start before that is signed off by the city. So all necessary parameters will be in place before demolition starts, so that nothing gets into the drainage or stormwater system. So other than that, phase 2 is about 80% complete. That is the abatement. They are on the ground floor right now, finishing up friable materials, but all protocols are in place. All regulatory measures have been met to date, and so knock on wood, we're almost home clear in the clear on that, and we will proceed on to phase 3 to properly manage and oversee and monitor progress.
So how long will each phase last?
So phase 2 will probably, which is the abatement, will be done probably July as a best case target. If not, it'll push into August. Good thing there is we are in no rush. We want to make sure it's done right. Phase 3 will begin again within the week for the demolition, and it should be done as a best case December, worst case push into January of 2027. And then the final phase, the civil restoration, will begin in January, and then slated to start, complete in June of 2027.
What can the public expect to see here in the next month or two visually?
Yeah, just big equipment taking down buildings, right? So they will proceed floor by floor for the first tower, and so you will, for what you will see, it should be, pretty much demolition progress. There will be dust suppression measures in place so that what is on the site stays on the site. But other than that, you'll see the equipment that is already staged on the site, pretty much, taking down the buildings floor by floor.
So you're like a wrecking ball?
Not a wrecking ball.
Oh,
we wish, but not not as fun.
How does that, kind of, what's that when you do it floor by floor? What's that?
It helps with the dust suppression. It helps with the dust control measures, as well as with the debris that'll be taken out. And so it's a more controlled, regulated process, so that, again, a wrecking ball would be fun, but the dust it would create will probably be a hindrance to the residents in the area.
Well, you use cranes, I would imagine, right?
Excavators with long reach arms, in essence. And so imagine a pair of scissors, in essence, just taking down the buildings floor by floor, bay by bay. So not really a crane or anything. Again, dust suppression is the most important proponent of phase 3 to make sure, again, the dust does not leave the site. We know that's a concern from the citizens. We've heard that, and so we'll make sure we're monitoring that daily to keep what's on the site on the site.
The question about the stormwater
Correct.
Whatever you're doing. So you have big, heavy storm come in and you've got exposed floors or however this is coming down. And you don't want the stormwater to go into the city's collection system.
Correct.
How are you going to do that?
And so work will be stopped to make sure that there will be no measures from the buildings getting into the stormwater system. But the first domino in that is pretty much protecting the stormwater. So the inlets, there will be a perimeter around the entire site so that if anything does come off the building, there's pretty much a barrier between it getting to the actual system. And so filter socks is, a term we might use in the field. And so all stormwater inlets, anything that can get into the actual system will be protected from the demolition. And after a rain occurs, city mandates a 24-hour inspection period after. So, and we have a weekly inspection period as well. So that'll be as important as the demolition to make sure, again, nothing is getting into the system.
Is this a city code rule or FDEP involved in?
More city mandate. We'll be keeping the documentation in case DEP asks or requests for anything, and then that way we have that information readily available.
Anything else? Thank you, Josh.
All right, appreciate it.
Sorry about that. I conflated Josh with Jacobs. Thanks, Josh. Josh does a great job. It's wonderful having a local legend like Josh leading this project for us, and particularly the community engagement piece. Wanted to flag something that's on the agenda for the upcoming next week's City Council meeting, and that's an update on the West Cervantes Pace Boulevard property. As you may recall, the city back in 2024 was awarded $5 million in grant funding to revitalize commercial districts impacted by disasters. Those grant funds are set to expire in 2027. The items that are coming before the City Council for consideration are acquisitions of a cluster of 4 vacant properties in that area, 1 on West Gadsden and 3 on West Cervantes, totaling a little over $1 million. Just for context, this is a continuation. The City Council in 2023 approved supporting the grant application for the project and accepted the grant award through the Hometown Revitalization Program in July of 24. Environmental review for the overall project was completed, and the city received what's called the authorization to utilize grant funds on May the 18th. Which allowed the city to proceed. So if pending approval by the City Council, then those purchases will move forward. And then the future use would still need to comply with applicable program requirements, eligible use standards, environmental requirements, and grant conditions. Exciting news, the groundbreaking for the Fricker renovations is set for June the 17th, next week. And actually, we're going to be, the mayor will be coming to you live from the Fricker Center on the 17th. And so we hope you can join us. 9:30 a.m. As you may recall, that project's nearly $10 million in grant funding awarded back in 2023. Along with some very important local option sales tax funds, that transformation of Fricker into a multi-purpose facility designed to serve the community for years to come. When it reopens in 27, it'll include a career lab, space for wellness access, more parking, better stormwater and weather resiliency, senior spaces, ADA compliant playground updates, and renovations to the entryway, kitchen, library, and more. Want to acknowledge and thank our team for a successful grant award by the Escambia Children's Trust this week. 3-year award, $350,000 each year for 3 years to provide after-school care for students at Woodland, Cobb, Gull Point, and the new Fricker when it reopens in 27. Again, very proud of our staff for their diligence in delivering this program and the effort on the grant application itself. Last year, just to give you some numbers, our center served 253 students during the school year. The grant funds will support the salaries for counselors, both full and part-time, program supplies, healthy food and snacks for the students, professional development for our counselors, so they can all keep doing the best for our children. So looking forward to continuing to work with the Escambia Children's Trust on that important program. Community Land Trust properties update. You all, again, may be aware that last week we turned over the keys to the third homeowner that benefited from that program. Again, as you know, that Community Land Partnership was a partnership with the city, Habitat for Humanity, and the Home Builders Association of West Florida. I was privileged enough to attend that ceremony. Stacy Hernandez, her home on West Jackson Street, is the final of the three sort of in this pilot project. We certainly are looking forward to potentially continuing those types of efforts moving forward. And the HBA constructed the homes using donated time, labor, and materials from their members, while the Northwest Florida Community Land Trust, Pensacola Habitat, sold the homes to income-eligible qualified buyers. And again, one of the keys to this is they will remain affordable in perpetuity. So we're certainly grateful for our partners in this work to improve affordability in the city. And look forward to continuing to work with our partners at Habitat and the home builders on important projects. In other community land trust news, the Habitat for Humanity is continuing their due diligence on the agreement partnership approved by the City Council for 925 East Jackson. That's the old community center, the old gym. The survey is complete, design is complete, and engineering is near completion. So that will be a fundamental next step. Just importantly, we have, according to those involved, we have not encountered any obstacles to date. So that project is on track. And again, reminder that this includes the city's donation of that property at 925 East Jackson, plus an additional city contribution of roughly $590,000, comprised of $240,000 in TIF dollars and roughly $350,000 from the Housing's Home Buyer Assistance Program. Again, this CLT will deliver the homes, cover the remaining project costs, and preserve the long-term affordability through its ground lease model, again, remaining affordable in perpetuity. Bayfront landscaping, something we announced that on the June 16th at 5 p.m. there's going to be a public meeting up the street at the Pensacola Library on Spring Street. And that's the landscaping and amenities for the Bayfront Parkway, the shared use path design project currently underway by our friends at the Florida Department of Transportation that aims to provide a comfortable path for walking and biking. The design project includes the installation of various trees, shrubs, ground covers, and amenities on Bayfront from South Tarragona to North 14th. So community input, that's something that we decided we want to make sure we had an effort to reach out to the public and get some input, because we do have a say in those amenities moving forward. Yard pickup. I got some updates here for the yard waste pickup. We've made strong progress in clearing the backlog of yard debris in the city. As of this week, all yard waste routes are now being completed within 3 working days of the regular pickup day. Garbage and recycling remain on track, on schedule. We want to share an early reminder that collection schedules will change next week due to the Juneteenth holiday. So Thursday routes will be collected on Wednesday, June 17th, and Friday routes will be collected on Thursday, June the 18th. Talk a little bit about the resident satisfaction survey results. Thanks to the Haas Center for their diligence in this survey. A couple of takeaways here. 66% of residents believe the city is moving in the right direction. Top pros regarding quality of life are high appreciation and care for waterfront access, feeling safe in the community, and arts, culture, and festival. Top concerns, cost of housing, reduction of homelessness, remain the top priorities. Future jobs in aviation and hospitality and tourism tied at 21% for the most promising prospects. And 46% of participants agreed that neighborhood safety has improved. Gun violence at 39% remains top safety concern among those surveys. And certainly grateful for all the citizens who took part in that survey. We already put out a release of this, and I know, Rick, you talked about it in your blog, but Steve Bayam is our new economic development director, pending confirmation by the City Council next week. He comes to us from Citrus County, Florida, and before that spent quite a few years in Louisiana with their economic development agency. He's already hit the ground running, getting the lay of the land here. Also welcome this week Joel Holmes, who is our new assistant parks director, and he has also begun with getting a lay of the land and hit the ground running here with the Parks Department under the leadership of Tanya Bird. And let me see if there's anything else here. I think property tax obviously continues to be a topic of discussion and concern and interest. The latest analysis we got from our budget director is that the year two, the full $250,000 implementation would be a reduction of about $7.2 million. It's about 9% reduction. The general fund, as a reminder, is about a quarter of the city's budget, and property taxes are about a third of the general fund. Public safety, that's the combination of police and fire, represents about 60% of the spending from the general fund. And we also, of course, have obligations to fire and police pensions. We're still waiting for some data from the property appraiser for potential impacts to the CRA, the TIF dollars. I know the News Journal wrote about that this week as well. We're still waiting for that data for those impacts, and so we're certainly monitoring that situation, and will, of course, continue to educate the public on the potential impacts moving forward. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Yes, sir.
Where are we on the Birdon Triumph apps? You got a Triumph meeting coming up here.
We do. We are continuing to have progress with Triumph, and we are, as of now, on schedule to be on the 22nd? The 22nd meeting. It's being held in Crestview. Yes, sir.
The CRA next week is going to discuss resoliciting the Baptist, master plan. And I guess the memorandum to the City Council talks about the selection committee, and that was an issue of controversy the last time when the council rejected the selectee, I guess. Wait, can you talk about how that selection committee was decided to be put together this time?
Cliff, you want to come up and talk a little bit about that? Cliff Collins, Associate Director, Associate Administrator here. I do know that, well, anyway.
Go ahead.
No.
Sure. So the mayor, obviously, at one point we had a plan that we had sent before council, and that plan did not go through. So the mayor made it very clear that his position was, I will support whatever Councilman Wiggins brings forward. So in working with Councilman Wiggins, we developed this plan for the selection committee. It's going to be 5 members, 3 from the community, actually 2 from the community and 3 from the city. Generally, those committees are always from the city, so this was more of a concession.
And is there any difference in the solicitation from the last time? Did y'all make any changes about what's being, I guess, requested?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will say, we took a hard look at the previous RFP, and what we did was we took a lot of the feedback that we heard, and again, working with Councilman Wiggins, I think we made a lot of changes that made it a little bit more simpler, and then we sort of put it in this three-phased approach, right? So phase one is community engagement. Phase two is the development feasibility advisory portion, all under one RFP, right? Now, the intent, phase one will feed phase two will feed phase one. And then the final phase, which, and I want to be clear about this, the RFP does not exist, but it would be phase three, which would be a master developer, right? So when that and phases 1 and 2 will help us develop the RFP for the master developer. Once we get a master developer on board, they'll feed each other and they'll be working with us, listening to the community, making sure we take the feedback. And I will admit that in the current RFP, I think we have the appropriate checks and balances to make sure that the information we get from the community, we take that to heart. Because at one point, the community is saying we weren't listening to them. So.
And so whoever's selected in this won't be the, I guess, company that will be building whatever's going to take the place of the old hospital, or will it be?
No. So for phase one, for the current RFP, no. The company that's going to be advising us as far as the development feasibility advisory will not. But like I said, when we come up with the phase three, which will be a new RFP, whoever applies, there'll be a selection committee, and they will be selected. The company will be selected based off that RFP. So as an example, if the company that's part of the development feasibility advisory decides they want to apply for the new RFP, I mean, that's a discussion we'll have to have, but right now, there's no plans out there. And again, the mayor's been very clear, he's going to support Councilman Wiggins and what his desires are, and that's the driver for this.
Okay, Cliff, I got a follow-up question, sorry, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Also on the agenda for CRA is a pretty substantial expansion of the CRA boundaries. Does that require county commission approval to expand the boundaries once y'all come up with the plan?
So that's a question I don't know right off the cuff, but what I will tell you is looking at that, this is something that's been in the works for a while as far as the CRA boundaries. And so the discussion really is more of a discussion. And I think if you look at sort of the current information that came out about the taxes, I think that all aligns as far as where we're driving to as far as the CRA boundaries and trying to get that aligned.
Right, I guess what I see in looking at the item is that this is the council sort of approves this step, and then you get public input. There's some public input sessions after that. I guess, and Amy, does the county commission have to accept the new boundaries, or because the county's given up some money?
They are.
Substantial.
Right. I don't know the answer to that. I can get back with you on that one. Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah, and again, if I could, thank you, Cliff. This is again follow on. This update process started back in 2003. Right. The CRA board approved the plans, the individual plans for the areas in June of 2005. This analysis was conducted, I think, beginning in January, or it was delivered in January, and this is the opportunity for the CRA staff to get input from the CRA board about how or when to proceed.
To the public.
Correct.
All right. A question on new Palafox.
Yes.
When are we going to take the training wheels off of the not a roundabout on Government Street in Palafox?
Right.
We trust them to take the barrels down.
Right after we fill in the tunnels.
Well, I'm glad somebody's talking about tunnels.
We do have the resident Palafox expert if we want any if you guys want any additional information from Adrian.
When are you going to feel comfortable letting people drive without the barrels on that? I'm not talking about the tunnels.
Right.
stated.
No tunnels. So any additional barrels or fencing is all part of sort of the second phase in the new Palafox, working on the side streets. That's all prescribed by Site and Utility as part of their MOT plan, the maintenance of transportation. So we certainly trust our citizens that they can drive up and down the new Palafox and use the four-way stops as they are. So eventually you will start to see some changes in the fencing and the barrels as the new construction progresses.
Okay, do we have agreements with all the businesses as far as their use agreements? It seems like Harry Roy's is operating differently than everybody else.
So we do. We have quite a few of the outdoor seating arrangements on file that have been approved by the planning department, routed through for the building official and others to sign off on them. Harry Roy, there at the Artisan, presents a unique situation in that they have a hardship. There is not 6 feet between their ADA ramp to enter the building and the canopy column, so you could not have the required 6 feet there for the pedestrian. Because of that, they were able to have some of those planters in a slightly different arrangement than other businesses, which is entirely because of that hardship.
So that's been approved?
Correct.
Okay, and the entrance to their condo is also approved?
Yeah, so the Artisan actually did one large outdoor seating arrangement.
And an entrance to their condo?
Right, so it includes Harry Roy, the entrance adjacent, and then Maker's Coffee down the way.
Okay.
Thanks, Andrew. All right. What else? Anything?
I just had a question. You talked about the 2 people that were recently hired. They're both from out of the area, so I guess the question is, are you still, I guess, interviewing people from this area? And what incentives is there for anyone to work in these departments when there's no upward mobility?
Oh, there's the current Parks director, the last actually director that we have was an internal hire, and has been with the city. There's numerous. Housing director started the same day that I did. She's a local that came from Habitat for Humanity. So absolute opportunity for individuals, whether they be within the city, within the area, or outside the area. We want to make sure that we get the best individuals in these positions, and are very pleased and thrilled with the two new hires, and look forward to their contributions to the city.
And I'm sorry, going back to topic, it was on the CRA expansion issue. That's been, like you said, in the works for a long time. Why is the city deciding to go forward with it now?
Well, as I think I stated earlier, is the natural progression. The study that was conducted back in, or was completed back in January, and this is just the next logical opportunity for the CRA board, who meets once a month, to have a discussion. Obviously, they're a sunshine board, so they can't have discussions as a group except in open meetings. So to answer your question, I mean, obviously the new wrinkle is on all of this is the proposed constitutional amendment dealing with property taxes, but I think it's just a natural progression of the plans were adopted in June of last year, and then this was just the natural progression of implementing those plans to get the consultant to deliver the report. CRA board receives the report, and now the staff looking for guidance on how or if they want to move forward on that. I don't think there was any magic about timing other than just the logical progression of the adoption of those plans back in June of 2025. Anything else? Thank you very much. Appreciate you.